Hey there, this is a walk-around video of the 2002 Ford Excursion Limited Ultimate Edition that my family has had and my wife has driven and hauled our family around. I'm just going to start off with some of the aesthetics. It has upgraded fender flares on it from a Lariat Super Duty that were painted to match the bottom. The front grille is from a 2016 Ford. Fog lights work, everything works. The grille is from 2008. Headlights have been upgraded as well from the 2002 lights. Also, the mirrors have been upgraded. The blinkers do work, all that stuff. This silver is actually just a vehicle wrap vinyl. I did that just to keep the bugs off of it. On the wheels, they're 2017, I believe, King Ranch wheels off of an F250. The spacers that are on there are made by Fred Gesh at wheeladapter.com. The wheel spacers themselves were $680 for the set. And I do have the receipt for that. Tires are brand new, probably less than 5,000 miles on them. Michelin LTX ATs, they're 275, 65, 20s. The step bumpers are from a Super Duty as well, and they fit. I mean, it looks nice and stock. The only difference from the Excursion one is that there's no light when you open the doors. Let's see, as far as you can tell, everything looks stock. Had this piece fabricated here to help that line and the fender fit together better. And there's like a little rubber gasket that probably needs to be adjusted here, but that's pretty much it for that. We're gonna do a walk around of the vehicle. The paint is a deep blue paint. There are, just given the mileage and everything else, there are some rock chips in it and some imperfections for sure. There are maybe one or two hail dents. There's one right here. I don't even know if you can see it. They're very, very tough to see. And just a couple in the hood that are really not noticeable. I really started to recognize them when I was buffing it out the other day, or waxing it. There's a little bit of dust on the car right now, so I'll wipe it down here. Or I'll just take it for a drive in a minute. As we go along the fenders, there's no real dents. As you can see, there are some chips in the paint. There's a little door ding right there and there. Probably the biggest scratch on the vehicle is this one right by the driver's side door. I'm not sure if it could be fixed or buffed out. It's maybe 2 inches long or so. Continuing on the paint. Couple more scratches. All right, another scratch there. I'm going to show everything that I can, because if somebody from a different area of the country buys this vehicle, I want you to know exactly what you're getting. A couple more scratches here. Once again, it could use a good buffing. I'm not a car detailer by any means, so it would probably benefit somebody else to have that done, and it is priced accordingly for that, so leave a little bit of money in the budget. No cracks in the windshield, no chips in the windshield. This is probably the only real dent, and it's tough to see when you're looking at it head on. It just kind of shows up when you hit it with the angles. It's not very big, it's just a little bend in right there. This is a rust-free vehicle. There's no rust in the rockers or anything like that, none in the roof. We'll go to the roof next. Once again, just some scratches here and there. There's another little dent that I saw the other day. I mean, the vehicle has 286,000 miles on it. So, I mean, it's just normal wear and tear. Clearly this vehicle has not been abused or beat up on. As far as the engine, it is all original, stock exhaust. Go ahead and stand up on the roof. As you can see, the roof probably needs some attention as far as buffing and washing, waxing. I usually just wash it and that's about it because nobody ever looks up here. So just don't spend a whole lot of time on it. I think I waxed it maybe once a year just to keep the sun off of it, and that's about it. So no dent, no real dents or anything like that though, as you can tell. No accidents on the Carfax. Go ahead and look in the interior. So when I got it, we upgraded the seats. The seats are from a Lariat. All of the controls work. Everything works in it. The heated seats work, which I don't think will turn on if the vehicle's not on. And then the center console was in not great shape. So we swapped that out, and that's a Lariat center console, which also could be could seat another passenger because it does have a seatbelt on it. Dash has no cracks in it. Steering wheel has like the typical Excursion wear, so it's got the steering wheel cover on there. Carpet, floor mats, everything's in, I would say, above average condition for sure. Upgraded LED lights in the vehicle for the interior lights. They really do make it a lot brighter. Console is missing this piece, but I have a whole replacement console that goes with the vehicle, which has that piece. Let's see. When I bought it, I also added second row captain's chairs. The only kind of kicker of the captain's chairs is when you pull the bench seat out, it leaves some holes, which I cover up with carpet. So we have a rubber mat that goes, or a big carpet with rubber on the bottom that kind of goes over the whole vehicle and protects it. When I mounted the seats, they fit right in the stock holes. Even though this came with a bench seat, it actually is set up for the captain's chairs if that was an option. So the holes were already there. Back seats in good condition. It's just old leather, so it's not as soft and supple as it probably once was, but definitely serviceable. I'm not missing any vents or anything like that. Let's see. There's a couple nicks in the headliner. You can kind of see right there. Once again, all this is usually covered up, but for the sake of showing the video, I wanted people to see what is underneath the carpet. Door panels are all in nice shape. Windows roll up and down, locks, power locks work, all the locks work on all the doors. Replace the struts on the overhead. The back has a Husky liner in it, and underneath that, there's a little stain right there. The rest of the carpet's in really good shape. Probably could use a good steam cleaning. You know, one of the few things that doesn't work that just recently, actually when I was cleaning this vehicle up the other day, for whatever reason this door will not work. I think that there's a cable in there that sometimes gets stretched out too far, so that door doesn't work. Obviously the other door does. No problems opening that. and no problems with the tailgate. I do have an additional piece. This one's sort of lost its sheen, as you can tell. I have another piece that is in almost perfect condition that goes with the vehicle. I just have not swapped it out yet. So it looks good. Bumper has the backup sensors. Backup sensors work. Like I said, this is the limited Ultimate Edition. Didn't know that existed. From as far as I can tell, the only difference is that this has adjustable driver's side, like gas and brake pedals, and then also the controls on the steering wheel. Like I said, no dents on the bumpers. Everything is, in my opinion, above average for, you know, this age of vehicle, and the number of miles on it. So it was taken care of. It's got some bumps and bruises and some scratches. One weird thing about this is this door opens fine, but it doesn't make the clicking sound. You just pull and then keep pulling and then it opens. So I'm not sure if it just needs to be adjusted, but we never have any problems opening it. It just opens, I've noticed, differently than the other door. Like it doesn't make a click whenever you open it. It could just be a problem, but we've had no problems with it. Door panels, like I said, good shape. The backs of the seats are really nice. This seat shows a little bit of just checking on it. Be honest with you, we had car seats on top of it, so I never really noticed. Seats go up. They might not. This one might not fall flat because the seat's back pretty far. So if you want to put it all the way down, you typically have to lower the seat or move the driver's seat all the way to the front. Let's see. AC controls work back in the back. Vents work. All these little lights work, and they're LEDs, so they're super bright. These step bumpers, these Super Duty step bumpers, line up perfectly with the doors entrances, by the way. So here's the driver's seat, driver door panel. Everything looks good. Even this wood grain that seems to fade out on these a lot looks in nice shape. Here's the seat. So there's some checking along here, but there's no rips on the seams or anything. It's just showing wear. Pretty typical for a vehicle this old, you know. And I did try and find the nicest replacement seats that I could. The trouble I was having was finding nice seats that had really good interior, but that also matched the color of the rest of the interior. So everything matches, as you can tell. I don't know if it's easy to say because the light's kind of different color there, but everything matches really, I mean, almost perfectly, if not perfectly. Floor mats, still has the carpet floor mats up front. It'll be vacuumed out. It's just got a little bit of dirt in it from me getting in and out of it today as I was cleaning it. That's what I was talking about. The Ultimate Edition has the volume control and all that stuff. Open the hood. I might need two hands for this. There's the engine. Still the stock airbox. I just replaced both batteries last summer. I was trying to chase down a hot start issue. It ended up being the injection driver module, which is back in the back. But I have a list of everything I've replaced. It's all been gone through. I was building this vehicle for my wife, so I never wanted to have any reliability issues with it. Stock intake, never been turned up or messed with. I'm gonna go leave that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a cold start. I guess, so you know. I'm gonna put my hands all over the engine. There's nothing hot at all. fans under the exhaust. Nothing. Just do a quick undershot of the vehicle. I mean, it's a 7.3, so they have been known to leak on occasion. This one is really no different. It will leave, if you drive it for more than a couple of hours, it will leave a drop. But that is it. There is no excessive leaking or anything like that. I mean, it'll just drip. If we drive it 2 or 3 hours to go somewhere, it'll leave a little drop at some point, which is pretty normal for these vehicles. So I'm gonna go ahead. I have two keys and 2 key fobs. Put that in. Wait to start is right there. It's that squiggly line. You can see temperature. Down at the bottom here. Hot. The other one's the transmission temperature. Never had it get above halfway, even when I towed one time with it. I've only towed one time with it. Oil changes every 4,500 miles. Startup usually. I've never had to plug the vehicle in. My license plate covers off. And I'm purposely not stopping this video at all. Show out my license. All right. Some things you should know about the interior. The CD player, the radio works fine. But the CD player does not work. Whenever you push load, it goes slots full. If you try to eject it, I'll try and select a CD and it says CD error. So I'm not sure if there's a CD stuck in there or what. Still not up to operating temperature yet. It's still, I mean, it's showing that it's cold. So we're gonna go for a drive. Now let's, before we do that, I'm gonna turn into 4-wheel drive high. As you can see, the 4-wheel drive light comes on. It has been tested. I'll turn the 4-wheel drive button off. Goes off. To put it in low. 4-wheel drive low is on. The actuators work. You can do 4-wheel drive high on the fly. Low you have to do in drive. I mean in park. The automatic locks still work whenever you kind of start getting up to speed. AC works. No hard shifting or anything like that. No transmission leaks. drive works. It's on the shifter. And once again, this is for somebody who might be buying out of state that just wants a little bit of peace of mind. Ball joints have been gone through. They were done in January with a 2-year warranty. It was about $1,300. This is not the greatest road that we live on. It's kind of bumpy, but it has a reverse shackle in the front, so it does ride a little bit smoother, and it does not wander all over the road. And once again, I built this truck and bought this truck for my wife, so I did not want her to have to fight a vehicle down the road, and then also I didn't want to have to go pick her up at some point on the side of the road with a broken down vehicle. So seat heaters work. The console is a little dim, but you can see it. It still reads the miles to empty, the direction, and then also it will tell you your average. From that computer, or from their calculations, this vehicle gets 16.4 miles a gallon. Just from how much we drive it, that seems about right. I wouldn't think it was any more than that. So. But we do drive it pretty conservatively. When we're on the highway, we try not to drive over 2,000 RPMs, so we keep it between 65 and 70 most of the time. And we just try to leave earlier wherever we're trying to go, so that we don't have to speed. So. Once again, I'm just driving it one-handed and trying to take a video at the same time. Going about, speed limit's 55, so I'm trying to do 60. We're at right around, I don't know, 1,700 RPMs. Everything's starting to warm up. Brakes work well. It could probably, I think it maybe another 10 or 12,000 miles before it needs brakes, just based upon calculations. Obviously, a lot of that depends on driving habits. So we're just cruising down the road. I know a lot of these just will have a tendency to wander all over the place. It is pretty windy today. This vehicle drives really straight. It was funny, when I drove this, I didn't even really want to go look at it because I was looking for a low mileage example, and I drove a couple low mileage ones and they just drove terribly, and then I drove this one and it had been maintained, and it had been, I think all the issues had been taken care of, and it was really the best driving one that I had driven. And one of those deals. We're just gonna head back. It accelerates nicely. I mean, it accelerates as well as you would expect a vehicle this big to accelerate. I don't really feel like that this should have incredible off-the-line speed, which it doesn't. But as far as being able to keep up with traffic, it doesn't really ever have a problem with that. You can do 75 in it if you want. That's just, we just choose not to. So I feel like it gets a little bit better gas mileage, and it's probably a little bit easier on the engine. So we're gonna head back, and I'm gonna pop the hood, let you see everything that is not leaking and spewing fluids everywhere. And like I said, just a nice driving vehicle. Definitely wouldn't want to put my family in something that wasn't safe, and so I did essentially whatever it took to get this to where I could know with confidence that she would leave the house and be safe. Pretty bumpy way to get back to the house, but and we are located, if you're wanting to do shipping, located in Gatesville, Texas. That's zip code 76528. And I would be glad to store the vehicle for up to 30 days after a payment has been made in full. Once again, this is a terrible road. I don't know if you can see how bad it is. Not your standard road. Just AC blows cold, heat blows hot. I don't remember if we had the refrigerant topped off last time it was at the shop last summer or not. I'm assuming they would have done it if they needed to. Pull over here, and I'm gonna hop out, show you the underside of it. A little windy out. can see from down here. No leaks or anything. Feel free to holler with any questions.